Hello. Welcome to the sexless void that is Good Idea. Please state your name and identification number. Yes, you.
Bradley Berklich? 1870750.
Thank you, Mr. Berklich. Your room is this way.
Okay. Do I take my bags, or is there like a bellhop, or?
There is no bellhop. Your bags go here.
Okay.
Thank you. Now follow me.
Okay.
I can see that you're just tapping your fingers on the wall, Bradley. You're doing it faster.
That's me walking.
That's not you walking.
Okay, well, here, let's go.
You have to actually follow me.
Okay.
We can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way.
Is the hard way you just carry me, or?
Something like that.
Cool, I'll take a piggyback.
You want a piggyback?
Sure.
No.
Oh, I thought you said this was a sexless void. You're taunting me.
Are you attempting to use humor to subvert my machine programming?
Oh, yeah.
Please, do not try anything else.
Okay.
It will not work.
Okay, I'm gonna follow you to my room.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so you are just making that noise with your mouth, so that one ain't gonna work. If I can't tap this wall here, then you can't make that noise with your mouth, you little robot man.
I was just testing you to see if you are functioning.
I'm a human. We always function.
We walk this way now.
You ain't moving yet. This ain't gonna work.
You know what? Calling me out on my bullshit is not a good idea. Good Idea is a brain trust your brain can trust. It is a comedy podcast where we find creative, actionable solutions to your real-life problems. I'm Aiden Kinsella.
I'm Bradley Berklich.
And this is Good Idea. All right, so what are we here to talk about today? Do we have anything specific on the docket, or should we just jump right into prompts?
Well, let's talk about two things first. We were at the mall.
We were
earlier.
At the mall. Okay, and second thing?
Well, there are two things that both happened at the mall. Number one is we were at Gamers World because we're both big gamers. We were looking at their products.
We are both just enormous gamers.
Like 8 feet tall.
8 feet tall, very, very wide. Ripped with muscles, yeah.
With big muscles.
Yeah, and I'm also bleeding all over the place because I'm absolutely ripped. Like, I'm torn apart.
Jesus,
I'm a little bit lacerated.
But some kid came up to me and asked me where they keep the real big swords because he thought I worked there. And he was like 6, and he was like very abrupt. So he was like, hey, where do you keep that real sword? And I'm like, I don't work here, dude.
You do kind of have the look, though, as I pointed out.
Which is, I don't, like, that's kind of an insult to me, honestly.
It's not an insult to you because, as you pointed out, this is not your normal look. This is your I went to paint at Tech today look.
Okay, it is.
It's more of a comment on what the Gamers World look is.
Okay, my current look is a pair of black pants, which I use exclusively for painting, and when I have to wear relaxed dress, quote unquote, in Italy. It's the only pants I own that aren't blue jeans or dress pants, and they are covered in paint. And then there's this gray sweatshirt I wore when I was a sophomore, and it's just that. No underwear. We do it real.
We do it real, yeah.
We do it real.
Also, I should mention, I don't know if this is true or not, but it is possible this episode will come out before the Italy episode, because I don't know how the downloading on that is going to go. I've been struggling to make that happen. But it will happen. We will release it at some point, and it might come out before this. And in that case, this part will just not be in this episode. So
it's all good.
What was the other thing that happened at the mall?
The other thing that happened at the mall was you were going to Panda Express because for two reasons. One, Panda Express, free refills. Two, you don't have to wait in line to get those free refills. So you bought the largest cup, filled it with ice and Pepsi Cola.
There was no ice in it, please. I'm not a plebeian.
You put ice in it. Shut up. I saw you put ice in it.
Hey, I actually put ice in it?
Yeah.
That's really out of character for me.
No, I remember specifically.
No, you're right. That's
yeah.
just really out of character for me.
And sitting in the Panda Express playing on their gaming computer, I believe it was an MSI, just like you have, Aiden.
Yeah.
And wearing wolf ears.
Well, no, it was two separate people.
I kind of refer to them as one being.
They both looked high. She was very interested in it. He was the only one playing, and he did not look particularly engaged in what was going on.
I'm sure it was just dude. It was just dude emotions. I think he was probably just as interested as she was. So my best bet is, because Fortnite is too plebeian, they're playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
I don't think they were playing PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds at the mall. The mall internet, if there's internet there at all, is not conducive to that. It was probably a single-player game.
Okay, single-player game. We've narrowed it down to like
5 games,
like 8 total games. It's probably not Skyrim because that one's too old.
Yeah, Skyrim's for
what
idiots.
came out recently? Let me just check.
Hey Siri, what came out recently?
Naming that tune.
Thanks, Siri.
Sorry, Aiden. I don't know what song this is.
She is of no help to us. So it's not the one that's 2-player now. There's like a new one out that's like 2 players at once.
What?
There's
there's only one. There's a 2-player. There's a 2-player game.
It's by EA. Oh, that's what they're playing. They're playing Far Cry 5.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's actually very possible. I think they have to look for it.
I think, honestly, yeah. And by look, I mean people who would enjoy killing white supremacists. Which is, I think, most people with wolf ears, honestly.
Maybe. I don't know where you get that connection.
I don't either. I'm just generalizing. I'm just stereotyping.
You know what else was really good was the Panda Express hiring table that had a little jar with 2 fortune cookies in it that looked like you were supposed to guess how many fortune cookies were in the jar, which you pointed out to me, and I laughed very, very hard.
Guess how many fortune cookies are in the jar, and you get both fortune cookies. But anyway, that's our mall adventures because we're from the 1980s and we're big mall rats. We do sort of just hang out at the mall.
I kind of just hang out at the mall a lot. That's kind of a thing I do.
Welcome to the suburbs.
That's the second time I've done that this week.
We do just go chill at the mall. During summer, it was air conditioned and you just chill at the mall.
You just chill at the mall because it's air conditioned.
We should run our own food court empire.
Have you seen there's a Hard Times article, I think it is, that says Goths sack Sbarro, extending the Hot Topic empire all the way to the food court.
I think I have seen that, yeah.
I think I've talked about that on this podcast before, and it's very funny.
It is very funny.
Hey, let's do a prompt.
Let's do a prompt.
Okay. Do you want to start, or do you not have it up yet?
My phone's internet does not work, so you can start.
Okay, so Jason on Facebook asked us how to make hair removal from face, legs, whatever, better.
Jason, have you tried Nair?
Nair is pretty good.
Have not used. I heard the questionableness. That's not the right word. I heard the actual how well it works is sort of questionable. Sometimes it doesn't work. I heard that there's this one sort of famous incident where it erased this man's nipples, and they grew back and were always permanently erect. So if you are looking for Nair on your chest, watch out. But other than that, you should be pretty good. Whatever waxing is, try that.
How do you not know what waxing is?
I lived a very sheltered life.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So
I hear Brazilian people have no hair.
No, okay. I need to explain waxing because you need to know what waxing is. This is bothering me. Okay. Hot wax, right?
Ow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you should have a professional do it. Do not wax at home. The professional will take a candle and light it on fire and then hold it up to your chest and sort of burn the hair off. That's what waxing is. Yeah.
That sounds painful.
I mean, it's only painful if they do it wrong. That's why you need a professional to do it. Because it's actually, I mean, people say waxing is painful. That's usually when they wax at home. Because like a good professional can burn your hair off just fine without spilling any hot wax on you. It's just called waxing because of the hot wax involved in the situation.
Jason, I'm going to be honest, having just learned what waxing is, I would stick with Nair.
So you'd rather rub chemicals all over your body than just have a professional carefully burn your hair off?
I would rather have a professional rub chemicals all over my body and turn me into the Joker, like sort of bleach white my skin and give me the creepy grin. And I'm hairless, obviously, but what hair I do have is green.
That's good.
Do you think the carpet matches the drapes on the Joker? Now we're asking the real questions.
Yikes.
Do you think he dyes it like special? He's like, if I ever have a lady friend over, you know, expectations have to be met.
I think the Joker. I'm convinced it's orange. I'm convinced it's orange because it has to be.
He'll look like a leprechaun with like green hair and white skin and orange. It's terrifying.
Yeah, but I'm just convinced that it's orange, and I don't know why, and I know nothing about Batman lore, but I'm convinced that the Joker's carpet, sorry. The Joker's carpet is orange. Just because that feels right. You know, like if the Joker had a different hair color, it would be orange.
Well, I mean, maybe that or like it's purple down there, and he's like, it's goofy. You know, it's funny.
Why is it funny?
Because it's orange or purple or whatever. It's just a nonsensical color.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Unlike green, which like is a very
clown.
sensical color.
I mean, you don't see an orange plant.
Is sensical a word?
I'm sure you could make it a word.
You can make anything a word.
Okay, well, great. Let's make a word.
The. Wait, they already did that one.
Yeah, let's go with Sbarro.
Sbarro?
Yeah, what does Sbarro mean?
Dude, I'm gonna totally Sbarro later.
Oh, I get it now. Okay, so listeners, you all know what Sbarro means now. Use it wisely.
I did just wink. So that
you could tell it made
we
a
have
sound.
not improved hair removal.
No, we've not.
So the purpose of hair removal is to remove your hair.
Let's get like a really sharp piece of metal.
Nope, that's already one.
Really?
Razors.
Oh. Yep. Whoops.
Okay.
How about a lot of sharp pieces of metal, like done parallel and like one grate?
That's also razors.
I was talking about a cheese grater.
That too. That's not a kind of cheese grater I've ever seen, but
that's whatever. It's fine.
That works. I have an idea.
Okay. What's yours?
Okay. You know how primates groom each other?
Yeah.
And humans kind of do it, but like not really.
Oh, I don't like where this is going.
Have you ever been to Sport Clips? That's kind of basically like our evolution of the Sport Clips MVP is our evolution of picking bugs out of people's hair.
Yeah, but the Sports Clip MVP is just in your hair like, damn, dude, you got lice, man.
Yikes. Or on like what you call it, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, when I think his I don't remember what his character's name in the show is, but Joe Latruggio's character, I think I pronounced that name correctly, is really into washing his partner's hair because it's super romantic. I think that's like that evolution there. I suggest that instead of picking bugs or just washing people's hair, you pick your hair out of your hair.
That sounds
it's
horrifying.
It's a human connection bonding activity that you and your spouse, partner, or friends, or spouses, or whatever, you and people can engage in to get closer to each other. So Bradley, come over here. Let's do a demo.
Nope.
Okay, I'll go over there. That's fine.
Nope.
If you don't want to get up, that's okay.
I don't want to do this.
No, you can. Do you want to pick my hair?
I'd rather not touch anyone's hair because I know the exchange.
Ow, Bradley! Ow! Oh, stop lying and saying you're not picking my hair. Ow, Bradley! Oh, ow! Oh, okay. I'm done with this. I moved back to my seat so Bradley couldn't touch my hair anymore.
It's okay. He doesn't have any. Aiden's all bald now, like one of those naked mole rats you see in the tunnels.
Yeah, Bradley just groomed me way too much.
It's horrifying. How do you end up like that?
Okay,
the world will never know.
So we got it. You pick you have your partner pick your hair out of your hair, then you pick their hair out of their hair. It's a human bonding activity, and it removes the hair just as effectively and possibly cleaner because you can really, really get some precision with that. You can go hair by hair. I improved it. It's good.
You did improve it.
What's Bradley doing? Are we going to write down all the things?
Yeah, so we can remember them. A common problem we have is we forget what ideas we create.
This is good.
Okay, so I have written down hair. We made hair this episode.
Can you give me my marker?
Yeah, sure. Here's your marker.
Hair. Bonding.
We're seated at a table which is made of whatever this is that where you can write on it like
glass,
like dry erase. It's super convenient. Also really funny because we made the mic base into one testicle and then we drew the other testicle and
it was a hilarious penis joke.
What a joke because the mic base is round and we're geniuses. Also,
Bradley, I actually got to give you all the credit for that one.
I think we can share that.
You came up with it on your own, Brad.
And then about halfway through that last bit, a mini fridge in this room started humming sort of menacingly. Here, let's pause for effect. And it's kind of scaring me a little bit, so I might open it later and shut it off. But
see if there's any more Gatorade in this.
It was in the athletic office over there.
Pick a prompt.
All right, we'll pick a prompt. We've discovered
Jason,
hair.
hey, thank you.
Jason, best of luck in all your hair recovery needs.
I mean, he's gonna have a lot to do with all of his friends.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna have so much, my dude.
Hi diddly lie lum diddly doo lie lum diddly doo die diddly die day. Hi loo lie lum diddly doo lie lum.
Wait, have you
diddly die day.
Did you get the prompts from the Tumblr yet?
Oh, we can go. I didn't put them on yet. We can go on.
Yeah, I actually want to see this because.
Okay.
So Sienna on Tumblr submitted. All these are pretty darn good. Let's go with March Madness 2. April Sadness.
Sienna, thank you so much. April Sadness.
So what we call that is seasonal depression.
Okay, seasonal depression. April flowers, spring, May. April showers bring May flowers. That's perfect. So April showers, that is April Sadness. That's what that
we cry.
whole poem is about. So April Sadness came before March Madness.
So we cry big tears.
We cry big time, and that makes the flowers come out. So April Sadness is not only important, it's a necessity for our environment. We have to figure this out.
But what causes April Sadness? And I think what really we have to look to is what was at the start of April. And that, as everyone knows, the 1st of April this year was Easter.
So and that's right. It was all Christians. It was Christians, all a big prank.
I hate to say it, but you done did it. You done made.
You pranked us all.
You pranked us all.
Or did they prank you? Which way did the prank go?
I don't know. Maybe the Romans were like, we told them they escaped. Fucking idiots.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
And they went in there and they're like, oh, Jesus is just gone. Maybe that was the original April Fool's. I'm sure this has been done before, yeah.
I'm sure it's been done before.
It's like
so let's actually talk about April Sadness in context of what March Madness is. March Madness is a time when a whole bunch of people get really, really excited about basketball, and then they all get sad because the 16 seed beats the 1 seed for the first time in history, and everyone's bracket dies.
Ooh, everybody hates Loyola right now for some reason. I don't even know where that school is, and I live here.
Okay.
What?
I'm so lost.
Loyola, wasn't there this whole thing where Loyola was not supposed to win, and they kept winning forever? Loyola?
Loyola, whatever. Loyola, same thing. Was that Loyola
it's
that did
near
that?
Chicago. Mm-hmm. I know for sure. I think it's actually in between here and Chicago.
Okay.
And it was...
So that was March Sadness, I think.
That was March Sadness, and then what continued over? Basketball ended.
Basketball's canceled.
Basketball, it got rained out.
It got rained out.
It was so wet on the court, and everyone was like slipping on the hardwood.
That's why it has to be March Madness. It's not March and April Madness. That's how April Sadness happens, because just basketball gets rained out.
It's so sad.
It's so sad. Can we just figure out what April Sadness is? Is that just when basketball gets rained out?
I guess so. I mean... You know, it's so rainy on them courts.
It's so rainy all over the court.
All over the court. And then the basketball players start crying and everything's so wet. And the fans they're just wet too. And everyone's just sad and soggy. Welcome to April. You know what they say about April? Im like a lion.
out. Everyone's down and out because it's April sadness.
April sadness. Because, I mean, the in like a lion, out like a lamb thing doesn't really even work for March anymore because it's still fucking cold. Like, it's just as cold. We were up there. There's still ice. We discovered the last ice on Lake Forest, actually, because it's right next to where we parked, and I haven't seen ice anywhere else in this town, but it's just chilling there in the parking lot for the Lake Forest College Athletics Center.
See, the way I function is I'm now very determined to go find ice somewhere else.
I'm sure we could do it. We've got a mini fridge right here. There, I'll check. Nope, just cheese sticks. You want a cheese stick?
No, I was about to say toss me one of them bad boys. But, you know, I don't actually want a cheese stick.
Yeah, no, it's kind of gross.
Cheese sticks are kind of nasty, yeah.
I mean, it's like...
Nasty is the wrong word. It's just I don't like the way they're presented to me.
Because, like, it's a tube. No meat that comes in tube. No, not meat.
It's not meat. It is cheese.
Actually,
Go-Gurt.
Go-Gurt's good. Sausage,
Depends.
also good. But your average hot dog, that's okay.
Yeah, hot dogs are pretty good.
Or how about like a liquid in a tube? Go-Gurt. We just did that
Go-Gurt,
one.
yeah. Hey, you know what's really good? Mexican fries.
What's on Mexican fries?
Mole sauce, cheese, sour cream, cilantro, meat sometimes.
I do not like sour cream. It is my
You can
worst
just
enemy.
not get no sour cream on it. I love sour cream though. It's very, very good in my opinion.
It's a good opinion.
Okay. Hey Bradley, how would you feel about having a debate?
All right, I'm down. I have the plastic knife, so I'm all ready for a debate.
Debate is now in session. All right. I have the sunscreen, which I can spray in your eyes if I feel like I'm losing.
Oh, I have the lower hand isopropyl alcohol.
Yes, you can drink that and get drunk when you're sad because there's sunscreen in your eyes.
Heck yeah. And these 2 Monopoly cards and this whole bunch. We share the whole bunch.
I have all the graphs. There's a bunch of graphs on this table. This is not our table.
Thank you, Lake Forest Athletic Department.
Anyway, Kyle asked us a question a while ago, and I'm ready to debate this question.
Okay.
He says, I have had conflicting reports on friendship. Some say friends are warm, fuzzy things, and others say they are tools. Which is it? Ready, set, debate.
Both?
It's both?
Yeah. Tools? What does he mean by tools?
Okay, so
Does he mean like
I
friends
want to go on into my life and I want to live a certain life. I want certain things out of my life. So one of the things I want to do is I want to go to a school where I will learn about how to produce media really well, and I'll learn more about how to do comedy, and I'll learn more about et cetera, entertainment. And in order for me to do that, I need field experience. I need to do some of those things now so I can sort of set myself on the right path to doing those things in the future. And well, I know this guy named Bradley who's like really funny and he has skills that I don't have that I can learn from. And, you know, who wants to do a podcast by themselves? No one wants to listen to that, and no one wants to do that necessarily. I shouldn't say no one wants to listen to that, but like a comedy podcast made by one person.
A couple of you out there are sad enough.
A couple of you out there are sad enough. No, there are podcasts made by one person that are very good, but like for this person who wants to go into this field, that's not necessarily the kind of work he's looking to do. So he needs someone to do a podcast with. Well, it's this guy Bradley, and I don't know him, but like I could befriend him. And I could have a partner to do this thing with, so I can boost myself up in the world. And that's what he means by tools. That's just one example, of course.
I think it's probably both, because you can use a friend to boost yourself up in the world, but I've also never, ever experienced a friend as a warm, fuzzy thing.
See, that's you, and you're Bradley, and you're you. But like,
yes, you said the same thing like 4 times. But that's you. You see, you're you, and you're Bradley, and you're you, and you're Bradley.
And you are Bradley, and your last name is Berklich.
Yes.
And you live... No, but
do not give out my address.
They already have your phone number.
Yeah.
So I feel like the argument for warm fuzzy things is just like you develop close, intimate relationships with people that are your friends. Like, I would say I have a lot of friendships like that. And I
develop, like, close relationships with people. But I would say...
That's what he means by warm, fuzzy things.
Okay, in my relationship with you, I do not perceive as warm and fuzzy.
No, I don't perceive my relationship with you as warm and fuzzy either.
We hang.
But that's what Kyle means.
All right, well...
But I do have friendships that I would consider warm and fuzzy relationships. And that's, like, to me, that's normal. And I think to a lot of people that's normal. And that might not be your normal, and that's okay. But that's not what Kyle meant.
All right.
So the debate then, I think you hit the nail on the head with your answer that it is both, because that's where I was hoping we'd get. But
we got there fast.
We got there very, very fast because you just answered the question instead of taking a side, which is totally fine.
That's the side I took.
Yeah, it's exactly. No, it's fine. It's good.
All right.
I was expecting it to go that one of us would argue one and the other one would argue the other, and it would be really, really sort of polarized to a humorous extent where, you know, we'd both play these characters that believed very strongly on these sides. Like, I would have been like, friends are tools and people are not worth anything except for their value that you can get out of them and what they provide you and your... and you would be like, but friendship is important.
But friendship is
and it's love and beautiful. Except I thought it was going to be the other way around, and then I was going to take that position.
Really?
No, I didn't really actually know who was going to take what position. But I ended up explaining that concept, which, of course, you understood the concept.
Yes.
But I was trying to translate that concept. And it's very interesting, though, because it's definitely both, because that's what humans are designed to do. Humans are designed to pack up with each other. Tribalism. You find people to help you survive.
Uh-huh.
And at the same time, part of surviving in Maslow's hierarchy of needs is like, you need to feel like you are loved and that you belong in places and that you are respected. And like, these are important things, assuming you've met your basic survival needs. So I think people that you tribe up with are going to be tools until they can be more than that. And as a society, since we've sort of developed, at least in America, we're lucky enough to have developed to the point where most people are able to develop friendships.
Well, I would say I'm going to disagree with they start off as tools, because I've never ever gone into a friendship going, I can use this
that's
person.
What I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not saying now. I'm saying in America, we are very lucky. We're very fortunate that we are able to develop friendships as friendships. But back in the day, like,
and in Britain right now,
and
fucked.
thousands of years ago, but like, people started off, they packed up because they were useful to each other. And because it was like, we're going to reproduce and we're going to hunt together. And like, they were useful to each other at the most base. And they probably had...
I think there's also, I mean, the useful is one word, but I'm sure they were useful, quote unquote. But there's not a conscious usefulness that another human being gets from just having a companion. I think that's the most base human thing. No human's like, oh, you farm and I hunt, and together we make a really good sandwich shop together. But...
I think that absolutely happens. But that's what business partners are.
Yeah, but what I think happens is people are just lonely. And they're like, heck yeah, another person who's also lonely. Let's go together. And sometimes they stop being together because they're either not
one of them
useful,
is slightly lonelier than the other.
One of them is slightly lonelier. Or one of them is abusive and hit the other one with a spatula several times until they went into divorce court together. And now their son, he lives between these two enormous mansions in the same town, and he has to fight between his parents to understand what he is in this world. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a play I'm writing. Continue.
I'd love to see that play. No, I would agree with you that I don't think all friendships necessarily start because two people are lonely, because I think there are plenty of people that aren't lonely that make friends. But like, I definitely see that. Like, I think a lot of really good friendships can be built that way, because just deciding to care about somebody is a really great way to start caring about someone. Very effective, I would say.
I would think most people do become friends with people lonely. Like, I'm not. So, let's think. In say my economics class, mm-hmm. I'm not actively seeking to become friends with anyone, and that's because in my economics class, up until this last semester, I could hang out with Evan Brown, And this semester, I can hang out with Victoria Walsh. 2 people I can chill with. I don't need any more friends. Mm-hmm. But in, say, let's pick one. My calc class, I became friends with Annika Hesswell because
She's a good one.
Because I didn't know anyone else in that class. Mm-hmm. And if I had, I probably wouldn't be friends with her because I wouldn't have sat next to her because I know who else to sit next to. And I probably wouldn't have made that contact. If I had a friend there, if I wasn't lonely, I wouldn't have made a friend.
That's fair. I think that's as I said, there is a large truth to that. I wasn't trying to deny that. I was just saying that like there are friendships that can be built outside of that. But I would agree with you.
Yeah.
That a lot of friendships do happen that way, and very strong friendships happen that way.
I think that is the primal root of human interaction. It's just damn big world, small me.
I agree with you, but I do want to acknowledge Maslow's hierarchy of needs because I'm legally required to. Because I'm legally required to.
Like
Maslow,
he made you sign that contract.
Yeah. No, but like people, of course, would have. Of course, companionship is part of what people need. That's part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But I would say the first. I mean, it's hard because like before people were people, they were Homo sapiens or whatever came before Homo sapiens.
I would agree if you couldn't feed yourself. I think that you probably look for food before you look for companionship. But I mean, I'm assuming that even in the primal days of humanity, one could feed oneself. Like, so the average person, you can kill, I don't know, a blackberry bush. You can eat that.
Hunt down a blackberry bush.
Hunt down a blackberry bush and eat it. I'm pretty sure like that is well within most people's means. So, I mean, if we're talking about quote unquote friendship, I don't know. I wonder where it stops becoming, where it starts, because Kyle says that friends can be tools, but I think, do you think at some point it starts becoming friendship and stops becoming tools? Like those are 2 different things?
I'm going to go back into your argument that it's both.
Uh-huh.
Because I think that there is I was pointing out initially that like, yeah, of course, back in the day, people needed each other for food and that's tribal instinct and that's normal because it is true that people do pack up for survival.
Yeah.
That's a fact. But that I think is in a lot of ways what friendship is. And I think I was trying to separate the two, or not, I wasn't trying to separate that from friendship, but I was trying to separate that from like the warm fuzzy things where I think it's just both. Because I think people become friends because that's part of human nature to become friends with people because people are useful to them in some way, whether that be emotionally or survival based stuff or both. And I think like people finding marital partners too. I mean, that's not friendship, but it is friendship in a lot of ways. And it's human relationships are built upon 2 people who are mutually useful to each other or groups of people that are mutually useful to each other in ways that satisfy what the brain wants the body to have. So, I mean, like Eric Byrne, I think is the name of that psychologist that wrote that book you gave me. And he talks about stroking, physical and social stroking, and how people play these games with each other, psychological games with each other to essentially make social transactions to get both literal physical and social strokes from each other to satisfy human belonging needs. And in that way, I don't know that I want to call people tools because I think that's very dehumanizing, but in a lot of ways people are friends with each other and they pack up together because they're useful to each other. And that's not necessarily bad.
I don't even think that could be called friends though at that point. I think it just is tools. Because then
all people are tools and friendship is fake.
No. Tools become friendship, but they're not friendship when they start.
I'm trying to argue that they're the same thing.
I don't think so. Honestly,
because tools is a dehumanizing word. I don't like that. Well, I don't want to call it that. Yeah, but it's like in Kyle's proposal.
I think people are tools first, and I don't think that can be called friendship at that point. I think it is something. I think it is being useful to the other person. I think friendship naturally evolves from there because friendship, I think, is more than just being useful, and I think it can't just be referred to as being useful when we first address it. Like,
No, friendship's definitely more than just being useful because
So
at some point
I think when you're just being useful, you can't even call it a friendship. I think friendship needs to have other
friendship
aspects.
needs to have the unconditional part. When the person is not useful, you're still there for them. They're still in your life.
Well,
Is that what you... And not necessarily if the person is not useful permanently. That's not
Yeah.
necessarily friendship. But that's kind of
because
the
then
thing.
they're just a fucking inconvenience, like where you go from
Exactly.
there.
So they still have to provide... And I don't want... And again, we're saying useful.
No.
We're being very, very
Yeah,
clinical
yeah.
about this, which sucks.
It's okay. I mean,
It's okay. I'm just saying... I'm trying to acknowledge right now
Yeah,
the fact
yeah.
that we are talking about this in a very clinical way. And I don't necessarily think of people as
we're using
useful all the
terminology.
time.
It's whatever.
It's just that people are useful to each other in
because
ways.
you said that
I've talked to you about this before. I think people should be useful to each other. I try to have things about myself, things I carry decks of cards with me pretty much wherever I go. It's a small thing, and it's not my personality, but that's something I do. You carry phone chargers. It's not.
I sell people phone chargers. Let's be real. I do
sell
it to
people
turn a profit. My sophomore year,
buy a phone charger?
no, seriously. My freshman year, I ran the hey, you want a phone charger? $1 for the period.
Did you actually do that?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm honored. That's what friendship is.
That's
Bradley
what
doesn't
friendship
make me pay
is.
for it. No, but you carry phone chargers around that you use for yourself, but you share them with people. I make sure that I have a stock of party games. I like to provide fun to situations. I like to actively make myself useful, and I think you also like to do that. I think it's human nature to like to make oneself useful because it is human nature to want to have as many other people around you. You want to pack up, and I think I have to earn that, right? So if I'm going to be in a friendship, then I have to be as useful to that other person as they are to me. And that's where I think this becomes less clinical. Is I don't want to be useful to them just because I want to be useful to them because it makes them happy. And because I can provide things to make that person's life better in such a way that I would want the same person to do that for me if I was doing it for them. But that, I think, is what friendship is when it becomes there are going to be times when you're going to be only useful to another person, and in that moment they're not going to be useful to you. But that when...
But I'm not even sure people have to be useful to be friendship. I think the two can coexist, but I would say there are plenty of people I'm friends with that don't serve any use.
Fun?
At all. Well, that just is...
That's a use.
That's not the same thing, though.
That's what I mean, though. I'm not trying to use useful in a clinical way. I'm trying to use useful in a... It is useful to me to enjoy
you just enjoy people hanging around with them? Well, then I wouldn't even call that use, because I think what tools is...
I'm not trying to argue that all people are tools. I'm saying for Kyle's question...
Yeah.
I don't think that people are... I don't think friendship is ever tools. Right? Friendship is not tools. I think you're right. Tools is a different thing. People use people sometimes, and it's shitty and bad, and it's not good. Or people have to become useful to each other before they're friends, and then they become friends, and it becomes more than that. I'm not saying friendship is just people being useful to each other. I'm saying it's part of it.
I'm saying discounting, if you're gonna call enjoyment useful, then yes, everyone who is friends is useful, but you can just enjoy their company. And if you call that useful, then yes, you need to be useful.
I would call that useful. I call company useful because that is in this discussion.
Yeah.
I'm calling, it's not an argument because it was supposed to be an argument, but then it ended up being just a nice discussion, which is good. I've been using useful to refer to just even the most basic of things, not people using each other, but as in people provide each other things. I enjoy spending time with you. I think when it comes to useful, that's a lot of the extent of and you and I produce content together, but that's kind of the extent of useful that it is. And there are I don't think any friendships that I have that is anyone using each other, because that's bad and that's not friendship. That's people being not friendly. I just think that people making sure that they take care of each other is a useful thing. And maybe not all friends are taking care of each other, but they're providing each other with enjoyment, and they're providing each other with, I already said enjoyment, but another way, a good time. That's useful. Somebody to talk about the Marvel movies with, if you're a big Marvel fan, is useful. That's a good thing to have. It enriches your life.
I mean, I don't know. To me, the word useful here is sort of that clinical we were trying to avoid, specifically in this instance.
Okay.
It just feels weird, especially when we're talking about it within the context of it being enjoyment. That's the word useful. It's really just, I think here specifically it boils down to vocabulary.
Yeah, it does, and I think we agree though.
Yeah.
So
do we want to move on?
Thesis, I'd love to move on. Thesis statement, I guess. Friendship is very, very important, and I don't think if friends are tools, they're really friends.
I think friends can be tools, but I think there needs to be an element of you just enjoy spending time with them. I think that needs to be probably the primary element, because if they're not, then that's really just an acquaintance, and you're lying to yourself.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I don't think friends can't be tools. That's fair. But
all right,
as
cool.
long as you like each other, let's do one more prom.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I will pick Keegan. You have posed to us how to make Netflix better.
Okay, so you're not going to like this one.
Okay, sure.
I just know you're not going to like this one. But I do think more sort of comedy and hot girls.
So,
can we get more hot girls doing stand-up specials on Netflix? That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, they have a lot of stand-up specials on Netflix already, but I agree the hot girl demographic is not being catered to.
It's just not because every girl that does stand-up comedy is just unattractive.
But I think what also is important.
Hold on, I need to make it very clear. This is a joke.
Okay,
I'm grossed out by the words that I'm saying.
Okay, well. I think what happens is the hot girl demographic on Netflix is feeling underrepresented. They don't have role models.
There's no female Netflix hot girl role models.
We need female Netflix hot girl role models.
Say
that 4 times fast.
Female Netflix hot girl role models.
Female Netflix hot girl role models. Female Netflix hot girl role models. Female Netflix hot girl role models. Okay, it's very doable. Anyway, I would agree. So they're constantly coated in pickle brine.
No, what?
Oh, we have very different likes, I guess. Okay, I'll let you take this one.
No, please keep going.
It's really just more pickles, but you can do it. What you I think
hot girls do usually get that. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of you like pickles. You come here often. You like pickles. You're sitting right next to the pickle bar. You're at the pickle bar. You like pickles? No, okay, I'm gonna go now. That's a good one.
Now, do you have any ideas? I'm not fully convinced that that's the best way to improve Netflix.
Make it free, government funded.
Government subsidized stand-up comedy and
hot
crime
shit.
Dramas.
Like, because
it would make people happy.
That's
and
the same way Sesame Street works.
What?
The government pays for Sesame Street.
Yeah, so the government should pay for
Netflix
stand-up comedy.
How many people have Netflix?
6. At least 6.
Okay,
I think we can go on that number.
6 times $15 a month. How many people have Netflix?
6.
Okay, thank you, Aiden. Okay, how many people have Netflix? Go.
6.
49 million, Aiden.
Okay.
Okay. 49. 1, 2, 3. That's the sound of our calculators.
No, I'm emailing Bernie Sanders.
12.
Because I need to figure out how tearing down the big banks can help fund the government subsidizing Netflix. Because if we make $100 billion back on taxing the companies on their profits that they send to offshore platforms, then we can tear down the big banks and then have the government subsidize Netflix with some of that money.
So this might be close to $8 billion, I guess.
Okay, that's fine. So we should, I think, be able to get $100 billion from taxing companies on their offshore platform money hideouts. And you know that Bernie Sanders emergency helpline that we discussed? I think it might be time.
That episode got deleted.
I know, but we've talked about it before on the show after that episode.
Oh, we have.
So let me see if I can find. I'm going to go to Bernie Sanders' website.
Maybe this is 8,820 million. So 8 billion.
Okay, BernieSanders.com.
Okay, well we're working on this.
Netflix for all. That's his slogan.
Oh no, this is totally doable. The United States military budget is $597 billion. We're ranked first in the world. That was 2015. The amount it would cost to get Netflix for everybody is only $8,800,000,000 and it's
that's
money.
just Netflix for all the people who already have Netflix. But we have to. Did you factor in all the people who don't already
every
have it?
American.
Because the government has to subsidize
So
it
that's
for everyone. So that's just it's 49 million.
350 million times 15. Oh, that I just did 350 times 15. Whatever. We'll work with that number. Either way, it's doable. We take it out of the military budget. Netflix becomes free for everyone. And then in order to increase the content, really, I can't think of a better thing than more hot girls.
More hot girls will really improve the content. Sorry, I'm really struggling to find. Here we go. Social media connect. Where is the thing that says
Where's
I want the Bernie Sanders helpline to see if we can get more hot girls on Netflix and subsidize all of it by tearing down the big banks? Because I like you're tearing you're taking it out of the military budget idea, but like honestly, we need to pay military soldiers. That's important. So I do think.
Well, we just stopped doing war.
So we stopped
So
doing war.
the
But how are we
soldiers don't
gonna
need to be paid.
What about all the money that we haven't given to the soldiers that we were supposed to give to them?
They keep getting it. It's only you, dude. Okay, for the amount of people that have Netflix currently, it costs $8 billion a year to give them Netflix subscriptions.
Yeah.
Roughly. Let's round it up to $9 billion.
Yeah.
The United States military budget is $557 billion. So it will take less than like one.
But that's per month. That's per month.
I already multiplied it by 12.
Okay, so that's per year then.
Yeah. So that's out of the yearly budget.
Okay.
It will take like less than 1/537th.
Okay, so do you think Bernie Sanders can do that then? Because he's kind of an expert on taxing companies on their offshore platforms.
I want to clarify my math was a little off there with that fraction, but we'll ignore it. Yes, anyway.
So I don't know. I just don't know what Bernie's expertise is on dropping the military budget.
I'm not sure Bernie Sanders knows what Netflix is, which is kind of the first problem.
Okay, if anyone who ran for president in 2016 knows what Netflix is, it's definitely Bernie Sanders. Did you even see the Bernie versus Hillary memes where Bernie Sanders was always the hip one?
I did see those. Hillary Clinton is sort of the human equivalent of that action figure you got, which the limbs were always so stiff on and it couldn't pose, and it was sort of always second to that mobile hand solo that you had.
I would like to imagine that it is a Hillary Clinton action figure, which would be good because she probably.
Let's shoot the empire, or we could join their side. They have some good points.
So here's what I'm thinking. Right? Bernie Sanders, actually, you might be right. He knows what Netflix is, but I feel like he's more of a Verve guy.
Bernie Sanders is a big anime man.
Well, Verve has anime, but it also has horror, and it has more independent
He
stuff.
likes the My Brother and Me TV show.
Yeah, a lot. I genuinely do think Bernie Sanders would subscribe to Verve before he would subscribe to Netflix. And
well, I'm glad we're thinking about the correct...
you know what's nice? Verve is cheaper than Netflix, which means we can spend 1/3 less, I think, per year on the subsidizing. That's how you improve Netflix. It's just Verve now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just Verve now. That's not true. Netflix has stuff on it that Verve doesn't have.
Netflix, I think, has a pretty damn good set list.
Netflix has a very good set list. I'm just saying that I think Bernie Sanders would be more in support of Verve. Could we subsidize both, but each citizen only gets one?
I think we make... Okay, I think we are doing too much here. It's, what we do? We simplify. One service, just call it Netflix, every movie... Every TV show, all media, ever. Free, paid for by the government. So, every American citizen. It becomes a constitutional right.
This is kind of like the works, not the works progress. This is what was the one?
This is not at all like the Works Progress Association.
What was the one that did art though? Like they had ones for the arts.
Oh, that started with a C, I think. I don't
know what it was, but it's kind of like a New Deal program where the government's paying the artists to produce media that we then all get for free. So it becomes like the new national park, but it's an internet national park.
The only problem with that is it requires an enormous recession.
Okay.
So hear me out. Okay. What if we let people borrow money to buy houses that they couldn't afford to pay back? And then Here's the kicker. When the banks realized that the people they lent money to couldn't afford to pay it back, the government just pays the banks to stay open. How about that? I think we do that plan.
We could do that. We could also, you know what? We could impose tariffs, and I don't think our government would ever go for this because we we have a very good a good situation right now. I think here's what I think we could do. We could impose tariffs on other countries' steel and I think what was it, coal. I think, and by what was it, I mean, what was I thinking?
Yeah, of course.
I think it was steel and coal. I'm not sure if I got that 100% right. It's just like about my own memory and my own brain and my thought and ideas.
Yeah.
But I think if we wanted the sort of stock market to start tanking,
if we want to just fuck the local economy, we could do that. How about the global economy? Oh, well, we could just do the tariff thing. But
we
bigger.
Could start a bunch of trade wars. I think we should just start a bunch of trade wars and then make a New Deal-esque program that pays artists to make content for all of us to have for free.
That's the best timeline. That's the best way this works out. Is just the current. I mean, what I was talking about was the 2008 crisis, which that already happened and that didn't work. We didn't get
2008 already happened. No,
we didn't get free.
No free Netflix.
No, unfortunately not.
How are we acquiring the rights to the name Netflix?
But you know what? The government just buys it. It's whatever. The government consolidates Netflix. We are you now. That's kind of what happened in the New Deal too. Like Roosevelt's like, hey, I'm going to buy all your gold at a reduced rate, and then I'm going to artificially raise the price of gold, and you don't have a choice. You have to sell it to us, and it's just that, but with Netflix.
That's good. The government could also just wage war on Netflix with their slightly reduced military budget. If that didn't work out, I still think they would win.
That's good. Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, because Netflix acquired did Netflix acquire Seth Rogen? Was it? Because
I think they did buy Seth Rogen.
So they have one fighter. They have two men.
No, they've got Adam Sandler too. Remember?
Right. They have Seth Rogen and Adam Sandler. They have two men, and we're all so poor.
We're all so poor. This is a funny Urinetown joke brought to you by UGC.
Hey, Bradley.
Yeah.
You want to end the episode?
I would love to end the episode. All right. So what was your favorite idea of the episode?
I gotta be honest, I really liked my hair bonding bit. I think that was very, very good.
I think Netflix for All was my favorite idea of the episode.
Netflix for All.
And do you have a recommended media? A pick of the week?
So many.
Really?
So many. Just music. I love music. Music's good. I've been listening to my friend's music. You know what? This is good. I got in her car, and her brother was also in the car, little brother, listening to his playlist on the loudspeaker in the car. And there's some children's music on this playlist, and it's like there's like children's music, but there's also like Pink on it. Like
she's a child, whatever.
It is
Pink.
Oh, I think Pink you're talking about no. I think
defo a girl.
I think you're talking about her brother. Not Pink's brother.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yes.
Pink is a girl. Yeah, she's a child, so it's fine. No, but there was a song playing, and it bopped. Like, it bops. It's extremely good, and I think you have to listen to it for its musical value rather than its lyrical value, because I think if you listen to it for its lyrical value, it'll get lost on you. But it's a children's song called Imaginary Friend on the album The Perfect Quirk by Secret Agent 23 Skidoo.
Okay. Okay.
It's extremely good. That's not, and that does, I gotta find the part that, you know what, you gotta look it up. I need you to look it up. You have to look it up and listen to the whole thing, because you have not heard the good parts yet. It's a very, very good song.
Okay. And
Bradley,
I'm gonna recommend Aiden. I recommended this to you.
You're gonna recommend me?
I'd recommend Aiden. Find Aiden.
Look me up on the internet. My TED Talk has like almost 3,000 views.
You should watch Aiden's TED Talk. It's very good.
It does have almost 3,000 views. I'm so proud of me, and I did it.
Aiden did it.
Thanks, Bradley. Boy. Just thinking about this, I'm going to
recommend... I recommended this to you when we were in Italy. I don't know if you've had time to listen to it. I remember you had listened to part of it when we were in the Frankfurt airport, and you were trying to download the rest of it frantically on German Wi-Fi. The musical Spring Awakening, which has been out for a while now, and it's a coming-of-age story about a bunch of teenagers in Germany at the end of the 19th century.
Just like us in Italy.
It is pretty much.
Except it was Germany for a little bit.
Honestly, it's pretty similar.
Yeah, we were all in there talking about just like our bare breasts and everything, and like that's.
Which song is that? It's not that one. There's like one kid who's really stressed out about school, and then there's another one who's just horny all the time, and I know several people that could apply to. So it's relatable though. You know, if you're a teenager, if you're coming of age, and that's in all capital letters, and if you're about to go to college and stressed out.
This one.
Okay, that's about okay, well that song is about that one.
Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah. Well, I think
Show me the world of your body.
I think that one's pretty.
It is pretty. It's just my point was that was just like us in the Frankfurt airport.
It's so American Psycho, there's like one song like that. It's just all of this musical. It's just all of it, but it's very good. So I recommend that one. So it's time to close the episode.
Yeah, do you need the list of things?
Dear listeners, I might have it memorized, honestly. Thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in. Thank you for being with us here on this journey. You were here, too, in our hearts and in the microphone. You can contact us at our Twitter, our Tumblr, and our Instagram, which is all at Good Idea Cast. Our Gmail
at Good Idea Podcast.
It's not okay. Our Gmail at Good Idea Podcast. Our Facebook group,
Good Idea Podcast.
Good Idea Podcast. Contact us if you're sad,
horny,
or if you want to send us some prompts. I love the third one. Big fan of the third one.
I'm a big fan of the second one.
That's because Aiden's horny all the time.
Excuse you?
This is a big call out post for Aiden.
Why are you posting out me that? That is not even accurate.
Okay, it's not even accurate. I've been corrected. But you can contact us there for any of the reasons above. We'd like to thank you again so very, very much for listening.
I fucking hate that word.
What?
Horny. It's bad.
Is it really?
It's just a gross word.
It is kind of gross.
It's an awful word. It's a nasty, nasty word.
You're a nasty, nasty man.
Did you ask them to rate, review, and subscribe?
Could you please rate, review, and subscribe?
Hey, thanks.
This, though it may sound like the podcast, it's not. This is your conscience speaking. I'm in your head. We don't talk often. I stole that joke from the Avengers. And, well, that was Good Idea. It takes a friend or a family member to hang the moon in both sense of the word. We're done here.